Good morning. Hello. Good morning and welcome to National History Day Family Gathering. Please stand and pledge for promises. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I promise to be trustworthy.
I promise to be truthful.
I promise to use my active listening.
I promise to give no put-downs.
I promise to do my personal best. Today, tomorrow, and for the rest of my life.
Now we will do our school motto.
Treat people right, do the right thing.
We will repeat this 3 times.
Treat people right, do the right thing. Treat people right, do the right thing. Treat people right, do the right thing.
You were like, well, how was I supposed to do it?
All right, thank you. I appreciate our NHD students giving me a moment to share about our lower school STEM fair. So yesterday, our pre-K through 5th grade participated in STEM fair, and their projects have been on display since yesterday, and then today I think they're going to share them with their Bobcat buddies. So I have the privilege of announcing the winners in our 4th and 5th grade are the only ones we actually judge. But I also want to thank our Arconic, I'm thinking I'm saying it wrong, Arconic, for helping us with our judging. They had, I think, 5 or 6 scientists and engineers to come over and read the projects, read all the abstractions, the predictions, everything, and come up with the winners without names on them. So I'm going to share that. When you hear your name, if you'll come up, I want you to tell the name of your project, just the title, okay? And so everybody will know which one as we see them today, and then we'll be sending them home today. We have in 4th grade, we have for our math one, James Nelson.
Truly random.
Truly random. Okay. All right. In our engineering 4th grade, Avit Sinowitz.
Podomatic puppy feeder.
All right. Congratulations. And in our 4th grade science winner, Josie Gerzak. Congratulations.
Why is this waste to water?
Okay, congratulations. All right. Now we have our 5th grade, and also I want to say, Mr. Nelson would like to meet you all in this gym after family gathering to get a photo in front of your projects, okay? So in 5th grade, our math winner was a partner, so there's 2 of them, Anderson Mingy and Bodie Levinson.
Twister tracker decoding the Fujita scale.
Okay, congratulations. And our 5th grade engineering winner, Bryn Jackson.
Engineering the future of water.
Good job. Congratulations. And our 5th grade science project was also partners, Carly Kirkland and Emmy Canistero.
Does music need heart?
Thank you. Congratulations. Everybody did an amazing job. Even our preschool had boards in there this time. And I just wanted to say I was so impressed with our preschool because what they did to teach STEM, each teacher took a piece like science lesson, a technology lesson, an engineering lesson, and a math lesson. And all the preschoolers rotated through their exploration day to each class to learn each piece of it. And so there's photos of them doing those projects. But I was just impressed with all of them, K through 5, pre-K, and all of you. And so I hope you get to enjoy them with your Bobcat buddies today. Thank you, and I'm going to turn it over to NHD.
Good morning. If you have ever made it to nationals for NHD, stand up. Give them a hand. Thank you for your hard work. These are just a few memories from state. I want to talk for just a minute about National History Day because I put some statistics together for CBA this year, and it led me down this trail of wow. National History Day has been operating for more than 50 years. Around 600,000 students from around the world participate annually in the competition. Approximately 3,000 of those students make it to the national competition. That's around 0.5%. Those of you that did the math in your head fast, great, I had to use a calculator. 0.5% of the people that start the journey make it all the way to nationals. And that puts you in the top-notch level of scholars in the world. Since Clayton-Bradley Academy began competing in National History Day in 2014, including this year's, we've sent 126 students to nationals. It's crazy. This represents an achievement of countless hours of research, critical thinking, and creative presentation. At NHD, our students have earned at least 10 medals and special awards, competing against the best young historians from across the country. Beyond medals, our students have won at least 3 special trips. I think there are more than that, but I can only verify 3. 3 special trips, and they've had their work featured in museums twice. This is a testament to the exceptional quality of their historic research. This year, we are sending 12 students to NHD. That's 6 projects. For perspective, in the junior division in Tennessee only sends 18 total projects in the junior division, and CBA represents 6 of those. These kids have worked hard. All of these kids that stood up I could not have fathomed the level of dedication and work that it took, and perseverance, oh my gosh, intuitiveness, like all of the life skills and presentation skills just come together beautifully in this. From documentaries and exhibits to papers, performances, and websites, CBA students have tackled challenging historical themes with passion. Each year, they transform from students into scholars, developing skills that will serve them throughout their academic careers and beyond. This success reflects not just the talent of our students, but also the dedicated and unwavering support from our families. Thank you. So let's celebrate the achievements that our kids made at state this year and recognize the kids that are headed to nationals.
While we are performing, there's a panel of judges in front of us, taking notes, writing feedback, and telling us what unique features they liked about our projects. These notes are meant to help us improve our scripts by pointing out what we did well and what we can work on. About a week after the competition, we received our notes. For all 3 rounds, my group took all of our suggestions from the judges that we thought were necessary, plus some more that we wanted to add. Since we are going to nationals, my group decided that we wanted to write almost all of our scenes while keeping the same concept, just to see how far we could go with these new scenes in Washington, D.C.
Like Addie explained, when we received our judges' packets, they gave us lots of recommendations. They gave us suggestions on how to fix our script, but the most important suggestions were the ones on our bibliography. The bibliography helps the judges understand the research process and helps them understand how much work we were willing to put into this project. We had to add more primary and secondary sources, and along with that, a detailed annotation of how this source has helped us and what it's about. And when we finish with the bibliography, we'll just be one more step closer, ready for nationals in DC.
And then our friend Gemma cannot be here today, so we're going to read her part.
The judges gave us 10 minutes to set up our backdrop and our props. In the meantime, they read our process paper.
We set our props up in order that we need them and head out behind our background in front of the judges. Once that 10 minutes was up, they finished reading the process paper, and we introduced ourselves, and the performance can begin.
Editing our NHD project between levels is important for making our performance better each time. As Addie explained, that after each round, we carefully review the feedback from judges, and then we adjust our script, scenes, and performance to improve. Each round provides us with a stronger opportunity to revise our project and ensure that it keeps on getting stronger.
Now that we are heading to DC for nationals this summer, there are a few things we are doing to prepare. One of the most important things you can do before competing at National History Day is to make sure you get a lot of practice. An NHD performance should be close to 10 minutes, so that's a lot to memorize. It's important that you rehearse and memorize your script so you don't forget a line while you're presenting. Like Addie said, during your performance, there's a panel of judges evaluating your project. These judges will give you a few interview questions to ensure you understand your topic. While preparing for nationals, it's important to go over some of these questions and make sure you know everything you can about your project.
Hi, my name is Case Gorley, and I'm here with my teammate Ethan Gray, and we are one of the few who have made it to the Nationals. I'm excited to present my project on Jackie Robinson because we both love baseball and he was an inspiring figure.
To start our research on the exhibit board, we went to the UT library. We then had to pick out certain things to put on our exhibit. We then cut out our exhibit, put felt on, and put the props on. We put a baseball diamond on our board to resemble his life. We then got the props to put in front of our board, which were one of our primary sources and memorabilia.
Hi, I'm Ava, and making an individual exhibit board for National History Day is a lot of work, but it's really fun. First, you have to pick a topic that fits the yearly theme, and then you will spend a long time researching and finding good primary and secondary sources. After that, you have to figure out how to organize everything so it makes sense and is visually appealing. And it takes a lot of planning, creativity, and patience, and sometimes it gets stressful, but in the end, it's very, very rewarding to see all your hard work come together and be able to show others what you learned and created.
Hi, I'm Kara. I also did an individual exhibit, and I have done both individual and group exhibits, so I can speak a little bit to the differences between the two. It's a lot more work doing an individual than a group because you don't have any group mates to do any of the work for you. Actually setting up is more difficult because you can only bring your group into the room that you have to present in, so it's a little bit more difficult. But doing everything yourself can be a really helpful experience, at least it was in my opinion, because you know exactly what to expect from every aspect of the project and you know exactly how to handle everything.
All right, I'm Connor, and this is William, and we chose to do a group documentary about Black education rights at Maryville College.
We got multiple awards for our research and our primary sources. We went to multiple places like the Tennessee Library and the Maryville College Archives to get all of these amazing sources. I'd say research is one of the most important parts about completing NHD. And if you want to move forward, it's the biggest step.
Hello, I'm Reagan Hussein, and this is my third year doing an individual website. One of my favorite things about NHD is that you get to dig deep into research about a topic that truly means something to you. And the reason why I chose a website is that you get to experience a lot with graphic design as well as you get to write a lot, so you get to experiment with a lot of different things that you see specifically in other categories.
I'm Kate, and this is Mila, and we made a website about the Brown versus Board of Education. In my opinion, a website is the most challenging of the categories, but that just makes it ever more impactful when you move on. And for a website, it's really confusing at first with the NHD web builder, but once you get to know how to use it and the more you experiment with it, the more you can add your own touch of creative flair and kind of customize it and make it your own. We use the NHD website builder to create our website with the pages, designs, images, and citations to really make it our own website. And we also focused on keeping it more consistent and structured throughout the whole website.
Right, so I'm Tristan Walker, and I'm going to talk about researching for an individual documentary. So of course, it starts with choosing your topic and making sure it aligns with the annual theme. This year, the theme is rights and responsibilities. And then you start researching and finding sources, especially primary sources, which are sources that tell about and are from the time of your event. And so for documentary, you want to find a lot of photos. That way it's more interesting, as well as maybe historical film. And this lets your audience see it from a time period view of your topic.
Okay, so creating an individual documentary for NHD involves selecting a compelling historical topic that you're interested in and that aligns with the annual theme, in this year's case, rights and responsibilities, and conducting thorough research, as Tristan just talked about, using both primary and secondary sources. The creation of the documentary includes creating and developing a clear thesis, which helps with creating a script that tells the story of your project, and using visuals such as photos, video clips, and narration to tell the story of your project. As a solo project, it requires managing all aspects of documentary making, from the research aspect to the script writing, which leads to the editing and technical work, allowing for a full creative control and a deep personal connection to the topic, and a lot more responsibility.
All of you stand up together in the middle so that people can get pictures of you.
Please stand for movement.
You know the rules. You have to do whatever Simon says to stay in the game. Simon says if you don't do what Simon says, or you do something Simon doesn't say, then please take a seat. Simon says nod your head if you agree. Simon says give me a thumbs up if you're ready to play. All right, everybody, put your hands down so we can get started. Uh-oh. We'll give everybody a pass on that one because Simon didn't say you could put your hands down. From now on, though, if you don't pay attention to what Simon says, you can keep playing, but please take a seat. Okay, Simon says put your hands down. Simon says raise your hands. Simon says wave your hands. Simon says put your hands down. Simon says put your hands up. Put your hands down. Uh-oh. Looks like we lost a few people there. If you put your hands down, you're out. Please take a seat. Okay, Simon says put your hands down. Now wave goodbye to everyone who sat down. Oops. If you're waving goodbye, Simon says you better take a seat too. Simon says everyone clap your hands. Simon says stop clapping your hands. Simon says jump up and down. Simon says stop. Simon says clap your hands. Stop. Okay, if you're not clapping, you are out. Simon says stop clapping. Simon says we're gonna go really fast now. Simon says raise both hands. Simon says put both hands down. Simon says raise one hand. Ooh, did you do what was on the screen and not what Simon says? If you put two hands up, you're out. Simon says put your hands down. Simon says hop on one foot. Now stop. Oops. If you're not still hopping, please take a seat. Simon says stop hopping. Simon says clap once. Simon says clap twice. Simon says raise both hands. Simon says put both hands down. Simon says raise both hands. Ooh, that was tricky. If you put only one hand up, please take a seat. Okay, final round. Simon says raise one hand. Simon says raise the other hand. Simon says wave both hands. Simon says put your hands down. Simon says put your hands up. Simon says clap your hands. Simon says stop clapping. Simon says put your hands down. Hands up. Ooh, if you put your hands up, you're out. Simon says if your hands aren't up, you can take a bow. Congratulations if you stayed standing for the entire game.